Okay, so I am going to get started. The first thing, in case you're catching the replay, I did want to announce that we took a poll, and Saturday mornings are it's too late for the East Coast time and not early enough for the West Coast time. So we're not going to be doing any more group Zooms on Saturday so that everyone doesn't have to have a FOMO, have a fear of missing out, and end up not being able to make a time. But we do have Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Eastern, and 10:15 a.m. Eastern. Those three opportunities to meet someone on Zoom and show up is still going to be available for you. And Sunday, we are going to be mixing in some of the meal prep Zooms again. We just had one this past Sunday. It's Wednesday. That's right. I was going to say we just had it yesterday. I was like, no, it was this past Sunday. Today is Wednesday. And so that is going to be popping up. I'll make sure to get everybody to the list at least the day beforehand, Saturday morning. Usually get the list Friday night. And we'll know at least a week or two ahead of time. So it's not going to be every Sunday, but it is going to be popping up more as people are kind of getting to fall. We stay home a little more. We're not out and doing adventures during the day as much especially in the East Coast, when the weather starts getting cooler. So those will be popping up again more. And then Sunday nights at 8:30 p.m. Eastern is the opportunity to have that little 20-minute nutrition chat with or fitness or mindset chat with different leaders on our team. And then this Wednesday night huddle for 30 minutes from 8 to 8:30 on Wednesday night. So that's kind of like the spiel of what's going on in our group Zoom. So I'll be updating my emails. In case you haven't been, I got some feedback that some of my Coach Jen emails are not making it. So you might want to just search Coach Jen and see, because I do send one email a week, and then I send an extra email if something big is going on that I would want you to know about. Our next big event that we will be posting, and I'll be putting about an event in the group, is for next Saturday, the 9th. We're going to be doing group Zumba outside at the Emmaus Park. They said to be there before 8:30 a.m. And then we're also going to have a pumpkin decorating contest, and I'm going to bring mini pumpkins, and also going to bring an assortment of little mini weights and headbands and workout outfits, and we're going to just have some time together and decorate some pumpkins and kind of like make them all fit-spired for you. So I'm looking forward to that. That will be Saturday, October 9th. I figure we'll be there probably from like 8:15 to noon at the latest. We're going to have some like shakes to share, some fruit. Anybody's welcome to come. The donation for the Zumba is $3 to $5 as you want to donate. Everything else by being a part of our I'll be bringing those supplies. Hi, Kathy. Hi. So I'm looking forward to that. I'll be putting the event in the group so that you can hopefully RSVP if you can make it, or even if you're a maybe, because I want to make sure I at least have enough pumpkins for everybody so that, and then of course I'll have some extra. So just in case that we're there. I want everybody to have a pumpkin to decorate and have some fun around fitness and health and community. And then so leading right into what I wanted to talk about is I wanted to talk about core values and share about it. And it kind of got thrown on me today. And so I'm really big about listening to what's going on, and I try to address what's going on. And in this case, I kind of needed something for me. I got to work, and there was a big announcement that our company was being acquired. And so a new company just started doing all these meetings the last 2 days while I was on vacation. And one of the big things they did first is we want you to know our core values. And I started thinking about when someone first talked to me, I say, I asked the question, what would you like to feel like? What would your ideal life be like? Sometimes we talk about a dream or a vision. And what I realized is core values really, really come into play with that. And that when we think about that life we want to live, without knowing our core values, sometimes we can get stuck in making decisions. And one thing that knowing your core values will help you do is it helps you make decisions easier, because you can very easily hold up your core values and say, is this my core value? Does it align with my core value, or does it not? And if it doesn't align with your core value, you can turn it down and say no. And kind of, I think Tony Robbins or someone said, like, the trick to making decisions is to make a decision once and let it stick. So like, just make the decision once and let it stick. And that's what being aware of what what can underlyingly motivate or be important to you is really going to help you. And so I wanted to do this kind of interactive exercise where we start making our list of core values, then kind of whittle it down. So it's just a 3-step process. It's not super long. Maybe you already know your core values and you want to share some tips or tricks of how you identified yours, and that would be great. But the way I kind of look at core values is it's kind of your plan, your map for life. So I am in the mortgage industry, and a lot of things that we do, one of the things that we do is have new construction homes. So I want to just equivalate it really quick to building a new home. So let's say you hire a builder and you want to build a new home. You say to the builder, I would like to build a new home. And he says, okay, how many rooms do you want? Well, I need at least 1 bedroom. I haven't thought about it in that. Maybe I need 2. I don't know. And okay, so is a kitchen important to you? Do you want a kitchen? Well, I do have to eat every day, so a kitchen's pretty important to me, yes. And they say, okay, what colors do you like? And you say, well, I like green. And that's all they ask you. And now you pay all this money to the builder and they come and they want to show you your house. So now we're months later, you're waiting, they're going to call you up and they say, we want to show you your new house. We built everything that you wanted. And they show up at your door and you come in, you're expecting like getting your keys to get in the car. And they said, where are you going? And they said, oh, well, we're going to come with you to take us to our new house. And he said, oh, I have it on the trailer back here. We got the best in mini homes. We got everything all set up for you. You're like, whoa, a mini home? I didn't want a mini home. Like I wanted like a house on land by the lake. Like why did you build a mini home? Well, the builder did everything that you said. The house is green, there's 1 bedroom, there's an extra room, and there's a kitchen. So that's kind of what happens if we don't know or aren't aware of our core values, is we kind of just get whatever life gives us. Whereas you can make a more concerted choice and you can ask more questions and kind of really uncover some things for yourself if you know what is behind that core value. So for example, one of my very strong core values, one of my like at my gut core values is community. And it's also one of the reasons why this community, like our private Facebook group, our private messages, and the conversations that I have in our Zoom calls has been so important to me and so important in my making this health change the last 5 years. So I just still want to thank you again. It was 5 years as of Sunday since I said yes. And I'm going to keep going the next 5 and 5 and 5 more. I can't imagine what my life would be without being able to share and help and encourage others, and without having you here with me. Like, I hope y'all feel that you give me back just as much, if not more, than what I try to give to you. Like, I really try to give everything that I can because this has been so important to me. And so knowing now that community is one of my biggest core values, like a motivator for me, I will show up because my community said they needed me to, or because I said I was going to someone else, I'll show up for that. So knowing that about myself, if I would have made the decision to commit to others 20 years ago, I would have succeeded at this journey 20 years ago. And then where on the other hand, you may uncover that you're a rebel and that you really want to do the opposite of what, something like that goes. So then community may not be what you're looking for. However, you uncover that responsibility is really important to you. Well, then you get to change how you look at your health and fitness journey and say, how can I show this as a responsibility to myself? How can I make this a commitment that I show up and am responsible for? And then you can do that with your relationships, with your work. You can make decisions about work or life so much easier knowing what is going to align with you. If you need flexibility, then taking a job that's going to lock you in from 9 to 5 is not something that's going to align with your core values, and therefore it's going to make things a lot harder. So hopefully having that little glimmer of like why core values important, that will help you. So the first thing you can, if you don't like the list I'm going to share screen, you can Google a separate list, or we can just start popcorning ideas ourselves. The first thing you want to do is kind of go through a list of core values and just write down, without thinking too much about it, write down the first 10 that you see that speak to you. So I'm going to start sharing the screen here. And you're just going to take your paper. I guess I should pause. Does anybody have any questions about that? can you see the screen? Because it is not letting me grab it. Okay, here we go. So the first thing is you're just going to write down the 10 that speak to you. Like if you read it, you're like, oh, that's me, or I care about that, or that speaks to me. And you're just going to write them down. Don't think about putting them in an order right now. Don't think about it too heavily. But just write down the at least 10, 5 to 10 that speak to you. I have another list here. Okay. How are you doing? Did everybody pick some? Okay. Did anybody willing to share?
I can be brave.
Go for it.
I liked them all. But I guess the top 10, 15 that I liked were community and charity. I kind of lumped them together. More charity than community. But depends. Diversity, family, efficiency, integrity, reliability, optimistic, honest, loyal, nurturing, competent, adventurous, and humility. Although my adventure, that's kind of limited as to how much I really want to go on an adventure. I'll go anywhere, but I just won't go up in the sky.
Anywhere but
unless
not in the
unless I go on a plane to somewhere, and then I would do that. But I won't go on a roller coaster. So that's where my adventureness, that's when it ends.
So thank you for sharing those. And I think you can kind of hear in yours, and you kind of actually identified it while you were saying, is a lot of these words have a lot of similarities in meaning to each other. So like in my top 4 is both family and legacy. And I feel like if I actually were to define legacy and family, they really do kind of envelop similarities. And so now this is where our job gets a little harder, and where could you imagine how stressful it would be if we were walking around trying to live life to 15 different core values and have all, before we make a decision, we questioned ourselves on all these things? It would be a lot. It would be a lot. So we really want to narrow it down to 3 or 4 key words that really are our essence, that is really the most important to us. And so one way that you can do that is you can kind of look at your list and say, if I gave you $1 million to buy you out of one of those things, what could I not buy you out of? So something you're not going to compromise, that even if I gave you $1 million, you wouldn't disregard that. You would still do it. That would still be you. Even if I had $1 million, it would be no good to me without my community. Even if I had $1 million, it would be no good to me without my family. Right. So family is truly, community and family are 2 of those things that are really down in there for me. And so you can kind of look at it as that, or what speaks to you most. Now you can either circle those 3 or 4 words that come up for you. Okay, I think I got it narrowed down to my 3. So then that's
3 is tough.
It's tough. So like, are you willing to share some of your words? Maybe we can kind of combine them or one, because you'll get to define it.
Sure. Like I have 5 that
Okay.
I have: community, positivity, family, health, and passionate.
Okay.
Like I tried.
So I think either positive and health can go inside of passion, or health can go, you know, with positive. Like in my definition anyway, you know, when you are healthy, I feel like it's easier to be positive. When you feel physically better, it's easier to be passionate, you know, and have that extra. So I feel like you can combine some combination of those 3 into one of those words that you then just define. So maybe knowing the next step would be more helpful for you at this point. But so for example, I narrowed it down to community, legacy, and joy for myself. Those things are very important to me. And I'm putting the legacy, I'm putting my family, because for me, I just found it's very important that I leave something. I want to leave this world better. I want to leave something changed for the good when I'm gone. And one of the ways that I get to do that is how I left my family, how I raised my son, how I, you know, left those who I care about and love. So I felt like legacy was helping me to envelop the time and the family and those other pieces, because if I don't feed into it, I won't have anything to leave. Like if I don't nurture it. And then the community and joy, I was going to pull in my passion and positivity and the happiness and health and growth into that joy and also community because of what I get to do with coaching. So that's how and now, so I'm sorry, I was going to tell you the next step. So the next step is now you get to make a fun, either a kind of a collage chart. I did an example, that one picture I sent in the message thread. You can just, now you get to define these words, because these words, legacy could mean something totally different to you than it does to me. And this is personal. This is about what you feel, what turns your light on, what you enjoy, and what you want to see for yourself, and what will guide you in making a decision that you want to make, whether it's for work or love or life. You get to now make a decision with, does it align with what's my core? Because it's going to be a lot harder to achieve if it doesn't align with what I want for my life or what I naturally lead to. And so you get to define it as much as you want in whatever creative, colorful way. And I'm going to stop the recording because we're going to talk. So thank you for joining. I'd love to know your core values. If you did them, share them in our group.